In 1927, Hermann Hesse wrote a book called Steppenwolf, or Steppenwolf in German. This book tells the story of a man named Harry Haller who is trying to understand who he is and how he fits into the world. It's a deep and complex story that explores how we humans deal with our many inner selves, and how he balanced the pole between our need for order and our desire for freedom. Steppenwolf looks at the way Haller struggles with these questions. He's trying to find his place in society while also seeking to understand the many parts of himself that make him who he is. He feels pulled between different directions, wanting to fit in but also yearning to live a life to the fullest, beyond society's rules and expectations. In this analysis, we are going to look at these themes in more detail. We'll explore how Haller's journey reflects two big ideas. First, the yearning for an intense, unfiltered life, and second, the idea that we have many different sides of selves within us. We'll also ask you, the audience, to think about these themes in your own life. Have you ever felt the tension between what society expects of you and what you truly desire? Have you ever wondered who you really are or discovered new aspects of yourself? If you have, you might find that Haller's story feels familiar. Steppenwolf is a novel that tells the story of a man named Harry Haller. He's a middle-aged thinker who feels like he doesn't quite fit in with the rest of society. He sees himself as a Steppenwolf, a lone wolf living on the edge of human society. In Haller's eyes, he's living a two-part existence. One part of him wants to fit in with society, to like rules, knowledge and culture, while the other part, the wolf, desires wild instincts, freedom and escape from society's expectations. This inner conflict makes him feel out of place in a society that seems focused on ordinary things, comfortable routines and superficial experiences. His life takes a turn when he meets a strange man who gives him a small book called Treatise on the Steppenwolf. This book eerily echoes Haller's own inner struggle, suggesting that he isn't just a man and a wolf, but made up of many different parts or selves. His life changes again when he meets Hermine, a lively woman who adds excitement and energy to his life. Hermine and her friends Pablo and Maria introduce Haller to a life of dance, music and simple pleasures. Hermine also leads Haller to the Magic Theater, a place that offers a bunch of strange and dreamlike experiences, each showing a different side of who he is. Steppenwolf is a deep look into what makes us who we are and the rawness of life. It takes us on a journey of personal struggle, self-discovery and the search for realness in a world full of rules. Can you relate to the feeling torn between who you are and what society expects you to be? Have you ever felt the urge to break away and experience life more fully and freely? If you have, Haller's journey might remind you of your own. Harry Haller feels trapped between two different selves, the man who seeks order and the wolf who longs for wildness and freedom. This struggle reminds us of a famous idea from ancient Greek mythology, the conflict between Apollo and Dionysus. Apollo was the Greek god of the sun, order, reason and self-control. He represents the part of us that wants to fit in, follow rules and create order. On the other hand, Dionysus was the god of wine, chaos, ecstasy and unrestrained emotion. He symbolizes our wild side, our desire to let loose and experience life with unfiltered intensity. Haller's wolf resembles the Dionysian side. It seeks freedom from rules and yearns to embrace life in all its raw, untamed beauty. This is reflected most vividly in the Magic Theater, a hallucinatory place that exists within Haller's mind and a journey into the Dionysian realm. Here, Haller experiences various aspects of his personality, some of which he hadn't acknowledged before. A series of wild and intense adventures that allow him to break free from the constraints of his orderly Apollonian side. He revels in unbridled pleasure and throws himself headfirst into emotions and desires, chaotic yet authentic. Through Haller's adventures in the Magic Theater, Hesse seems to suggest that we should embrace our Dionysian side, the raw, wild, emotional part of us. He encourages us to break free from societal expectations and experience life with all its intensity, just as Haller does in the Magic Theater. Hesse wrote about the Steppenwolf in a letter to a friend. It's the story of a human who oddly enough suffers from being half human and half wolf. Half of him wants to eat, drink, kill, and do simple things like that. The other half wants to think, listen to Mozart, and so on. This creates disturbances, and the man does not feel well until he discovers that there are two ways out of this situation: either hang yourself or convert to humor. And as Halle indulges in his inner theater, he discovers humor and absurdity as a potential solution to his inner struggle. Now a question for you. Have you ever felt the pull between the structured norms of society and the wild, uncensored urges within you? If so, to which side do you usually lean, and why? Halle's story might be more relatable than you think, as we all, to some extent, struggle to balance our inner Apollo and Dionysos. In Steppenwolf, Hesse ventures into the profound dimension of selfhood beyond the binary, the multiplicity of self. Halle perceives his existence initially as a struggle between the man and the wolf within him. However, his surreal journey through the magic theater reveals an array of selves within him, each representing a unique aspect of his psyche. Hesse's exploration of multiple selves seems to echo the theories of Jungian psychology. In fact, it's worth noting that Hesse underwent psychotherapy with J.B. Lang, a close associate of Carl Jung, which likely influenced his writing. This association with Jungian thought becomes evident in his portrayal of Halle's experience in the magic theater, which can be interpreted as a process of individuation. Individuation, as proposed by Carl Jung, is a process where a person integrates their conscious and unconscious elements, leading to a harmonious whole self. The journey through the magic theater mirrors this process as Halle confronts and reconciles with various aspects of his persona, moving towards a more holistic understanding of his identity. The notion of the wolf in Halle's psyche could also resonate with Jung's concept of archetypes, universal symbols residing in the collective unconscious. The wolf, symbolic of the untamed instincts and freedom, contrasts with the civilized societal aspects of Halle's identity, reflecting the archetypal conflict between the primitive and civilized self. This perspective of selfhood, influenced by Jungian psychology, challenges the conventional notion of a singular I, and invites readers to reconsider their self-perception. Each individual is a multitude of selves, each with their unique motivations, desires, and characteristics. So, let's reflect on these ideas. Have you ever discovered aspects of yourself that surprised you? Do you believe in the existence of multiple selves within you? Imagine you walk through the magic theater. Each magic door opens to a different scene from your life. What do you see? What parts of you meet? What parts of you clash? Are there any doors you would hesitate to open, or any rooms you would prefer to linger in? And more importantly, how would you engage with these different aspects of yourself? Steppenwolf is not just a story about a fictional Harry Halle, but Hermann Hesse's own journey into the heart, what it means to be human. With Halle, we explore the struggle between societal expectations and raw desires, and the idea that we are not just one single unchanging person, but a multitude of many different selves. Steppenwolf also serves as a reminder that life is meant to be lived in all its wild, chaotic, beautiful complexity. It's not just a matter of existing, but of immersing oneself in the ebb and flow of experiences, the shocks and gifts life has to offer. Hesse brings this reminder to life through Halle, who, in a touch of melancholy, reflects on his past. It wasn't a pity that it was over. It was a pity about the now and today, about all these countless hours and days that I had lost, that I only suffered, that brought neither gifts nor shocks. But praise God, there were also exceptions. There were sometimes, seldom, other hours that brought shock, brought gifts, tore down walls, and brought me, who had lost my way, back to the living heart of the world. In this sense, how many of your days are spent truly living? How many merely existing? How would the present appear in future reflections, crystal clear or distorted like a funhouse mirror?